No.
Oh, there he is. There. Oh, cool. Very well. Okay, the discussion is the best part of this, and the pedagogical implications and the implementation details and so on, but I do want to make sure I get through the technical presentation here. We do have to make it work.
Okay.
Are you recording? And thank you so much. I am. I have a bad habit of stopping the recording and forgetting to turn it back on again, but today I'm just trying to leave it on, let it record the whole thing. We're testing the limits of the technology here with these seminars. We're extending the tools beyond, in some ways, beyond what they were originally intended to do. And they seem to be performing beautifully. So, but you never know. Hopefully we won't have any technical glitches. You notice we've been remarkably free of that so far. This video conferencing is amazingly reliable and simple to use compared to the old days, especially. All right, let's see. We've looked at various cameras. Again, anything that you can plug in as a webcam will work. Let me switch, and I can obviously, and I'll show you how I'm doing it, but obviously it's possible for me in Zoom to switch back and forth between cameras as I wish. We also have another camera that you were seeing us use periodically. Unfortunately, I can't zoom this one, but you can see if you look in the back of the room, there's a camera on a tripod pointing at us. That's a standard camcorder. And it says right on the Zoom website that, well, you can't use like camcorders and DV cameras and things like that with Zoom because the software won't recognize them. On the other hand, if there I am. That's the image from that camera. So, we're violating the terms of our, no, we're not violating our license agreement, but there is a way to get just about any camera into Zoom or into Camtasia Relay, which we'll see in a moment as well. And the way we're doing that, I'll walk around here and pick up something off the floor, if I can get to it. All the wires. I don't know how well you can see that since I can't see the image on the camera right now, but that is a little device called a Dazzle, D-A-Z-Z-L-E, and it's a USB video interface. Let me put that in the chat here, Dazzle. From Pinnacle. Dazzle allows you to plug in, as I say, just about any kind of camera, and then you plug the Dazzle into your computer. Got to remember which camera to look into here. It's hard to get good talent these days. I certainly ain't it. But the Dazzle plugs into the computer through a USB port. And the software, at least Zoom and Camtasia Relay, both see that as a webcam, even though that's actually a semi-professional video camera. And the video quality is quite good, and you have lots of control over that. Zoom, in and out, pan back and forth. It's small enough to hold in your hand. You can take it and shoot handheld with it. So let's say you were doing a laboratory. I go back to my my training and my history. You're doing a laboratory orientation, showing someone how to perform a laboratory without killing themselves for you. And you can bring that kind of input in. You can video anything and share it with everybody, wherever they are, in real time, while you're talking to them about it. Pretty cool. That Dazzle cost about $45 last time I bought one at Best Buy. And it's dirt simple to set up. So you're limited here only by your appetite for gear and your willingness to experiment. You can really pull audio in from a wide variety of sources. I think come to think of it, I think I didn't mention one of our microphones here either. I haven't really used it today yet because we don't have anybody here in the classroom. But one of the greatest challenges with sessions like this, if you have people both in front of you in the classroom and remotely, as you all are, is to get them talking to one another. Like you all talk with Michael and so on a little bit. Okay. But you know, it's quite possible to get both groups of students, the ones sitting at home and the ones sitting in the classroom, interacting with each other and not through you. But the challenge in the classroom is having the people at far end be able to hear the people in the classroom. In other words, picking up the audio from the physical classroom and sending it through Zoom out to the remote attendees. That's probably the single most challenging part of the setup. And the little webcam microphone does a real good job of that, all in all. But it especially in a live sense, that is, if you're talking with a person live back and forth, that you're all there at the same time, the webcam microphone does pretty well. But it doesn't do so well on the recording. If somebody's watching it later, they may not benefit from as much from the questions or the comments of the students in the physical classroom. And there is another type of microphone that will help with that. And let me switch cameras again. Go back to the Logitech. And that microphone is right down here. You can see it. It's that black thing. Get a little closer without making you seasick. That's called a boundary microphone or a video. It's also sometimes called a conferencing microphone. And that will pick up people in the back of quite a good-sized room. Even from the front of the room, you have to set it on a flat surface, as it is here, a little table. And there's the Dazzle sitting there, too, if you didn't see that clearly before. That's what that looks like. But that microphone ran about $77 on Amazon. And it's phenomenal. It will pick up you from behind it, and it will pick up the people in the room. The sound quality is not quite as good in some ways as some of the other microphones, but it's very, you can understand what's being said. The ambiance is a little different. It's a little bottom of the barrel kind of stuff, or speaking from down in a well, particularly from me. Let me switch to that microphone for a second. You can see the difference, or hear the difference. Whoops, that's the cameras. Okay, now we're on the boundary mic. And you can probably tell the difference in quality of the sound. You're still hearing me, I take it. It's still hearing me okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that one, of course, beauty of those two microphones is once you set them up and get them going, you don't have to worry about sound. You can speak normally and they pick it up. You don't have to, well, if I got my headset on, or, you know, is it working, or battery run out in my wireless mic or whatever. And you're untethered as well. So that's another option. And of course, we're always available to consult on things like that. If you're setting yourself up a kit or a classroom, we're happy to share with you what's worked with us for us in the past. Let me get me back on the webcam microphone. I think that's a little bit better. Okay, I'm back on the webcam. And it just works. Okay, that's kind of the gear part of it. Let's move on to the software part. How do you actually make your recordings? Well, I'm going to go to screen share here now. And the first piece of software we're going to talk about is Camtasia or TechSmith Relay, if you prefer. This part of the presentation will be real simple and pretty quick because this software all these software packages are so simple to use. TechSmith Relay is something that you have available for free from the district. All you have to do, if you haven't already done it, is ask me for an account. You can just email me and request it.
Could you tell me that name again? Did you say TechMix?
TechSmith.
Oh, TechSmith. Okay, got it.
TechSmith Relay. You can call it Camtasia Relay.
Okay.
Rebranded it because nobody knew who TechSmith was.
Okay.
You can get to our Camtasia. It's a server-based system. You can get to our TechSmith Camtasia Relay system at camtasia.sdccd.edu. You can get to that you can use this from anywhere in the world. You don't have to be here. Another nice thing about it. Well, that's true of the other system we'll look at as well. You're given a login. It's not necessarily the login you use for anything else, though we can set it up that way if you want, but this is a separate system. And once you get logged in, the first thing you have to do is download a recorder client. With TechSmith Relay, the recording is done locally on your computer. And the video is stored locally there while it's being recorded. And when you finish recording, you can then just send the recording to the server where everything else gets done automatically. It's magic. Anybody know Clark's Law?
No.
Named after Arthur Clarke, the famous writer of science fiction and fact. Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Camtasia Relay is magic. TechSmith Relay. So the one thing you have to do before you can start is download the recorder client that installs on your local computer. This one knows I'm on Windows, so it's giving me the Windows download option, but there's a Mac client as well. If I were on a Mac, it would be giving me the Mac client. And I just click on the Windows download, save. I save the client file anywhere on my computer. I'm using Firefox, so it will keep, and of course I've done this before, so yeah, I'll replace it. Oh, I meant to say yes, sorry. There we go. So it's just downloaded over the other one. Then on Firefox, I go and I open that file and I run it. If this were Chrome, we'd be looking down in the lower left-hand corner. If it were Internet Explorer, it would have popped up a window, and so on. Mm-hmm. But one way or another, it's very easy to find this recorder client installer. You just click on it to run it, and the run just takes no time at all. This, since I already have this on the system, it knows it's already there. I'm just going to say repair, so it'll do a reinstall. Go next. And oh, I have to close PowerPoint before I can do it. So you can't be doing PowerPoint while you're doing this. So we'll close PowerPoint and retry. Hello. Oh, just ignore it for the moment. It's closed. Oh, PowerPoint's being ignorant. That's not going to be a problem. And then it's installed. I mean, the installation takes, what, less than 60 seconds. Restart your system? No, I'm not going to restart right now. And that's all there is to installing the TechSmith Relay client. You can install that on any computer of yours that you want, or as many of them as you want. We have an unlimited license for Relay, so you can use it. You can put it on any computer you wish, even if it's not your computer and you're somewhere at a conference or something and you need to do a recording. You can do that. We don't care.
But you have to go to that Camtasia at stccd.edu to be able to get to this.
To get to the client.
Okay.
To download it.
Okay.
I could always send you the installer, but to use the system, you have to be able to, you have to have an account.
Right.
On that system, and that's just a matter of asking for one. But do send it to me in an email so I don't forget it.
Right.
If you ask me right now, you're out of luck, because I'm in serious CRS right now. I can't remember stuff, and so I'll forget. So just send me an email and I'll hook you up.
Okay.
The recorder client then pops up, looks like this. It will record your monitor. It's going to record your screen, because it's assuming that in your lecture you're going to be providing a lot of the materials that you want your students to engage with through your computer screen, whether it be a PowerPoint presentation or a website that you're talking about, or a piece of software you're showing them how to use, or whatever, or maybe you're working in an accounting class, you're working on an Excel spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that appears on your screen will be recorded by Camtasia Relay. You can also record your webcam if you wish. That's optional. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen.
Yeah, we're not seeing your screen.
No wonder. See, I was able to tell by looking at Sushila, she wasn't seeing that.
Right, now I'm seeing it.
Okay. That's where Zoom comes in so handy. Being able to see your students. I figured out I wasn't sharing my screen. Now, the Camtasia Relay recorder is hearing you, because if I look right here at the audio input level, can you see the little green bars running across the screen now? Yeah, now we're seeing that. Okay, good. It's really demoralizing to record an entire lecture and come back and find out that you didn't record the audio.
Oh, I know.
Ask me how I know that. So you want to be real sure that the Camtasia Relay client is hearing you. But that's easy to see. You can have it, I would normally recommend just leaving it in automatic mode as it is now, with a little auto button that's green, because it will set the record level so that you're recording loud enough, but not so loud that you distort. So I just leave it at automatic. So once you see that, you know it's hearing you. And you can see what you're going to, you can see a preview here of the screen that you're going to record, which will of course change as you move along. There are two more things you have to do before you start recording here. One is to select a profile. That's a profile. Camtasia Relay, a profile is what tells Camtasia Relay what to do with the recording once you send it to Camtasia Relay. Once I send this recording to Relay, do I want Relay to caption it? Or do I want to let it just pass through and let something else do the captioning?
Okay.
And where do I want to send it? I can send this recording any one of 3 places in our relay system. I can send it to our local media server, online too. I can send it to a TechSmith owned, TechSmith owned hosting service called screencast.com, which is free for limited use. But if you want to use it for real production purposes, you have to pay $10 a month. Or you can send it to YouTube, which is free. Unlimited usage, unlimited storage, unlimited bandwidth. We love YouTube. And not only that, but if you choose not to caption in Camtasia Relay, which has a good captioning system, but if you choose not to caption in Camtasia Relay, you can just send your recording directly to YouTube. YouTube will caption automatically without you having to ask for that.
Okay.
It will not be perfect. The captions will not be perfect, but they'll be surprisingly good. And they can be edited at need. And that's probably an issue we need to deal with. Let's talk about that since I brought up captioning. We all know that if we put instructional materials online on a public website, they have to be captioned. There is, however, a loophole in that rule for specifically inserted on lecture caption. And that loophole goes like this. If you make your recordings visible only to your students in your class, and what's the easiest way to do that?
Make it unlisted.
Pardon?
Make it unlisted.
Make it unlisted and give access to it only through
Blackboard.
Blackboard. Bingo.
Oh, okay.
If only your students can log into your course in Blackboard, and the only way they can get to that video is through Blackboard, then it's not a public website. That's one criterion for qualifying for the loophole. Second one, of course, as Leslie absolutely correctly indicated, when you put something on YouTube, you want to make sure that it goes on as unlisted. That means that nobody can find it unless you give them the URL. Anyone can watch it who has the URL, but they can't find it. It can't be searched. It's not available publicly. It won't pop up as a suggestion to somebody. Only people who go through you can view it. So, and nobody can guess YouTube URLs. They're impossible. So it's that meets that requirement. Only your students can view it. Second requirement is that you don't have a hearing impaired student in your class. If you do, then we've got to go to Plan B. It's usually kind of ugly. But there are ways we can go to Plan B. But it's good. But you know, you're not going to have hearing impaired students that often, and this loophole recognizes that. Believe it or not, a little bit of rationality actually crept into regulation. I'm sure it was a mistake, and they'll correct that someday. But right now, we're still operating under these rules. And the third criterion is that you only use it for 1 semester. If you use it for 2 semesters, it has to be captioned. Okay, well, that could be a problem because you can't caption lecture capture by yourself. We're talking about hours of content, right?
Right.
That's not realistic. All right, so we have several answers to that. One is that the YouTube captions are not that bad. If somebody accidentally stumbled upon it, they could probably get the sense of it with those, the automatic captions that we have edited. 2, hey, it's lecture capture. I give this lecture every semester. I just capture another lecture, and that's good for another semester. Just keep the loophole going and keep it open. Third possibility is if something extremely profound happens in that lecture capture and you really want to preserve that for posterity, we can send it to the DECT grant, Distance Education Captioning and Transcription grant from the State Chancellor's Office. And they will caption it, they will have it commercially captioned for free and send us back the captions, which we will insert into it for you. And we have a request in right now for with DECT. Or, geez, one instructor did, I forget, 4,000 minutes of lecture capture, and is asking for it. It's going to be $13,000 worth of captioning. And DECT, we hope, is going to pay for it. We've never been turned down. This may be the one, but we're hoping. But certainly, that is an option. But the best option is probably just not to use the same lecture over and over again for caption, just capture it again. Because let's face it, things change. Even in a subject that seems fairly static, like Renaissance history or something like that, new things are being discovered all the time, new viewpoints. You maybe think differently about something than you did last semester. You want to present it differently. It's work as well as you'd hoped last semester, and so on. So it's good to have that fresh lecture. And again, the hurdle to doing this in the classroom is so low. I mean, basically, I have to turn on Camtasia Relay and keep talking and keep using the computer. All right, so that's the captioning issue. We had to talk about that at some point. All right, so when we select a profile, we tell Camtasia Relay whether we need it captioned right now or whether we can let YouTube do it, and we tell it where to put the video. We've got options to go to Online 2, screencast.com. We can pre-caption and send to YouTube, or we can just send it to YouTube and let YouTube do the captioning, and that's the one you're going to use most of the time, quite frankly. That's the one we use most of the time. There's a couple of other options that we won't worry about right now, because they're not really germane to lecture caption. Okay, so I'm going to say to upload to YouTube and just let YouTube caption. And I have to give it a title. Demo, video, flex, what is today? 3/4/16. You can make it anything. You also optionally can provide a more detailed description of just what's in the video and what it's intended for and whatever. And these are things that you can edit later as well. Okay, now I'm ready to record. It took a lot longer to talk about that, of course, than it does to do it. You just go on, you client, make sure it can hear you, choose a profile and type a title. It takes a good 15 to 30 seconds, and you are ready to record. So it's not going to take you a lot of time at the beginning of your class to get this going. Then you just press the big red button. It counts you down, and you're recording.
Okay.
That Camtasia Relay is now recording everything that I'm saying. Recorded Sushila. It's recording this video over on the side too. I want to make you all bigger. I can do that. There you go. All that's happening. I guess you can't see that. Only I can see that. Never mind. Everything that appears on the screen gets recorded. Let's say I wanted to show someone how to log into Blackboard. I can open up a web browser. I can tell them to go to www.stccdonline.net and click Blackboard Login. They're given a username as their CSID, and then a password, which is their 8-digit birth date, month, day, year, with no punctuation or slashes in between, just the numbers. And it has to be 8 digits. So if your birth month or birth day is a single digit, you put a 0 in front of it. So January 1st, 2000 would be 01012000. Then you click Login, and you're logged into Blackboard. Your courses will appear in the My Courses box. You just click on the link therein to access your course. Okay. That could just as easily have been a course tour, or I could have been doing a PowerPoint presentation. Let's see, it made me close PowerPoint a minute ago. Let's see if I still have it. Let's get my presentation back up. And I can go to full screen in PowerPoint. And now I yada, 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 yada. Yada, 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 yada. PowerPoint speed right through my PowerPoint. And all that's recorded. And then I go on and do something else. I can pull up a website, and we can, let's say, we're in a political science class, and greatly daring, we go and we pull up CNN. Yep. Assuming we can spell CNN. And not see somebody's toes. Oh my. Well, at least it's not Donald Trump. And we can, we can run to the website. I didn't figure I'd go too far down without seeing Donald Trump. That's why we're not going to get into politics here. Bad idea. But anything, you're limited only by imagination, just like you are in class. Whatever you need to show them. Anything you can show them on the computer. But of course, there's something else you might be doing in class that didn't involve the computer. All right? What other highly advanced technology might you be using in the classroom with your students who are present, involving little bad smelling items and something hung on the wall?
Using the whiteboard.
Help me, folks. Using a whiteboard, right? Well, if you had a second camera, you could just point it at the whiteboard. But curiously enough, that doesn't work terribly well. But there's another option. I have to get my pen here. You can do something called board casting. Let me stop my share for a second. With Zoom, which we're also demonstrating at the same time we're demonstrating Camtasia Studio, you can go back and forth between screen share and camera very easily, very quickly. And if I go and I change my, oh no, I don't have to change camera. Yeah, real. If I go and I bring up my okay, I need to share my screen again. That's unbelievably easy to do. Again, I'll show you when we get to Zoom, talking about Zoom here in a minute. And instead of OJ, please, I bring up my IPE Document Camera. Oh, that's why I was killing the screen share. Sorry, getting old. Let's see, screen share, and now I want to show you the back camera. There we go. This is a document camera designed to show you documents or books or three-dimensional objects, anything. It's called an IPE. Let me put that in the chat. IPE Video Point to View. Amazon. About 60 bucks. Again, not something you have to have, but if you want it in your lecture, you want to use the whiteboard, this is the best alternative. All right, you've seen it. Now let me get it to where we can actually use it. It comes with an application. I'm sharing my screen again now. Just go back and forth just very quickly like that. Oops, let me get that wire out of the way. Too many wires. There's another one. Okay, this little camera just pointing at a good old-fashioned composition book, or you could use a legal pad or just a piece of paper on the desk. I like the, you ever seen the big sticky notes? They're about 8.5 by 11. You can find them at Walmart or most any place like that. And they stick down on the desk and they stay in place while you're writing. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So now, I've got a whiteboard. Like a very expensive overhead projector with a reach of tens of thousands of miles. So if I want to do a math problem, put my pen back here. This works better. I meant to bring a Sharpie out. Sharpie is ideal for this. I want a fine point Sharpie. Okay, we're going to keep this simple because my math ain't anything to shout about. But let's say I wanted to solve that equation. Well, I know I can add 3 I can subtract 3 from both sides. And that'll take it 3 off the left side, and 10 minus 3 is 7, right? And then I can then divide both sides of the equation by 2, as long as I do the same. Yeah, okay, right? You get the idea, right? I don't have to demonstrate my ignorance of algebra. But anything you do on the whiteboard, you can do here. You can draw pictures, if you can draw, which obviously I can't. You know, we can play hangman or whatever. I can do chemistry problems. That I can do. Take benzene and treat it with nitric acid and sulfuric acid. Excuse me. And get nitrobenzene. Anything. And I can turn the page, go onto a fresh sheet, and go back to that one. Magic technology of the book. And so on. So anything you can do on a whiteboard, you can do here. And you all are seeing it. Probably better than if you were sitting in the back of the classroom, right? If you were one of the determined back row people. They're going to see it better. And you've got an unlimited supply of paper, presumably. So you can broadcast this beautifully. And again, particularly with the document camera and things like that, you're limited only by your imagination and what you can present to your students. And in many ways, you can present it to them better than if you're in a classroom working with a computer and a projector, or standing in front of the class, because they can just flip and see it better. Anything you want to hold up and show them, you just do it. If I kill the screen share, okay, now you're seeing me. They can see you about as well as they can see you in the classroom, probably better than they can see you from the back row, particularly if you're using a decent camera, as the one in the back is. When it first came out, that was a $1,500 camera. But I got it for $300 used. There's always ways to build up your equipment set, so on, to do this, and we're always happy to help you work with that. But all this has been a lecture, right? it's all been recorded. Actually, it's been recorded twice. Zoom's recording it, and Camtasia Relay is recording it. To bring Relay back up, tells me I've been talking for 11 minutes and 43 seconds, which probably seemed like forever to you all. But let's say I'm done. All I have to do now is click stop. Notice I brought, let me minimize that again. I brought that up by going down here to my, oh, and I'm not screen sharing again. Don't do that. Sorry. Heck, pardon me. Let me get this off the screen. I'm done. I can bring up the Camtasia Relay recorder by just finding this little icon in the Windows taskbar down at the bottom of the screen and clicking on the red and white R. And up comes my Camtasia Relay recorder client, and it's been recording for 12 minutes. It hasn't been interfering with anything. We might forget it's there, which could be dangerous if we say something we shouldn't. But it is there. Oh, there's nothing more dangerous than an open microphone. But it's running along, and it will run reliably for hours at a time. I've got a guy in IT who is recording some of the training sessions on PeopleSoft, and he just sits his laptop up with the webcam pointed at the screen, turns on Camtasia Relay, and just lets it go for 8 hours at a time. And it works. Relay recorder is extremely stable. It won't crash your computer. Something else sounds like purring. And it'll just keep going. He takes a licking and keeps on ticking until you're ready for it to stop. When you're done, you just click stop, and it takes a second. It finalizes the recording. That may take a moment here. Nope, didn't take very long at all. And you get a preview. And you're recording.
Okay.
And Camtasia Relay is now recording everything that I'm saying according to Sheila. And there it was, all the way through to just before I turned it off. At this point, if that looks, it's a good idea to play it for a second. But if it looks good, at this point, you have one more task. You click submit. There is something else you can do. You can trim the clip. Let's say you don't want the very beginning of it. And maybe that ending session when I brought up the recorder, maybe I don't want that either. I can trim off the ends of the clip. But you don't have to do that. You can just leave it. And if everything else looks good, you just click submit. And your involvement with this is done. Uriel, yes, you just raised your hand. You have a question. And is it in chat? Let me check chat. I'm going to stop the share for a second. Check chat. Nope, don't see it there. Not hearing anything from Uriel. Uriel, let us know. If you've got a question, I'd love to answer. Okay. Oh, I see something I goofed in chat, too. My PIVO ends in an O, not an I. My mother told me to learn to type. There, that's right. And I will save the chat if I remember it. Hopefully I will. Okay, let's share screen again. And that is now on its way to YouTube. You don't have to do anything else. you just wait. We'll go look at it in a few minutes. It's going to take a few minutes for it to upload first to the, right now it's uploading to the Camtasia Relay server here. Then Camtasia Relay is going to get it, it's going to look at it and say, oh, this is destined for YouTube and I don't have to caption it, so I'll just send it right to YouTube. And then both Camtasia Relay and YouTube are going to send you emails saying, your video's online and it's ready to go. And within anywhere from a few minutes to a few hours later, YouTube will have it captioned. And that lecture will be online. And that's all there is to using Camtasia Relay.
I think Uriel has a question on chat.
Oh, she does have one on chat. Thank you. Ah, there she is. Let me go back to chat. Can you snip out a middle part of the video? Great question. Just with Camtasia Relay? No. However, it is possible to take that Camtasia Relay presentation and drop it into a piece of software called Camtasia Studio, which is the high-end screencasting and editing tool provided by the same people that make Camtasia Relay, obviously. And once you do that, you can edit the video in any way you wish. It has tremendous editing capability. You can cut out pieces you don't want. You can even re-record over something. I don't know how many times I've done a recording and I've flubbed one word where I said one thing and meant something else. You can go back and you can cut out that one word and put another one in. You can add special effects of all sorts. And you can add other videos in and link them together and so on. Anything you normally do with a video editor. That package, however, is not free. We have it available here in our lab. Let me show you. Now, I'm not sharing my screen. You all are seeing this. Good. Speak right up. If I'm talking about something and you can't see it, it probably means I've forgotten. I didn't have something showing. Okay, there's our lab. Every one of those computers has Camtasia Studio on it. We also have a little recording studio in a separate office on the other side of the wall here that you can use. And they have Camtasia Studio on some machines in the faculty work area on the 4th floor of the LRC near Hank Beaver's old office. And you can do it there. Or you can buy it yourself. And it costs, an educational license is $179. So the answer is yes, you can snip something out of the middle, but it's going to cost you something. Either a trip to see us or up to Mesa, or a license for Camtasia Studio. By the way, you can get a 30-day free trial of Camtasia Studio from the TechSmith website. If you're interested in that, let me know. We have tutorials for that. So, and it's a great thing to have. You can do amazing things with it. But typically, no. With the lecture capture, it's live, one take. What you see and hear is what you get. Because that's what happens in the classroom anyway, right? We can certainly go back and, oops, I didn't mean to say that. What I meant to say was this. And I don't know how many times I've gotten halfway through working a problem in a chemistry class and realized I wasn't going anywhere that I wanted to go. I have to back up and wipe off the whiteboard and start again. Those things happen in live lectures, and lecture capture records it. But you do, if you really want to, have the option to go back and snip it out. But there's another layer of complexity to do that. Usually, what you see is what you get. What you said is what you get. Moving finger having writ moves on. Good question. Thank you for bringing that up.